Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and I have decided to vlog since the very start of this awful Russian invasion of my beautiful and independent country, Ukraine. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe because the world needs to know more about Ukraine, and I'm sure you will be able to witness our victory on my channel. Today I want to speak about some successful Ukrainian, or maybe not Ukrainian, it's not official, operations on the territory of Crimea, that is also Ukraine. If you have some questions about this beautiful peninsula, I will connect a separate video at the end of this vlog so that you can check and update the information on Crimea. First of all, this war started back in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea, and lack of global reaction, and including Ukrainian reaction, led to the fact that 8 years later Putin decided to attack us from all sides. He will fail and Crimea will return back to Ukraine, but now it is used as one of the important directions for the supply of Russian orcs who try to destroy and kill Ukrainians. That's why to stop military logistics, to destroy military bases is of course one of our top tasks. So, since the start of this full-scale war, two ways are used to supply Russian orcs in Ukraine. First one goes through temporarily occupied territories of Zaporizhia and Kherson regions, but this is a dangerous way because Ukrainian soldiers are really close and soon we will liberate these territories, and there are lots of explosions and shots on these zones. That's why it's not that easy for Russians to use these roads. Another safer way for them is to use Crimea and to supply all their soldiers need with the help of Crimean railroads. And yesterday, a very important and good event happened. A railroad was blown up in Crimea and the logistics was destroyed. Not only it was blown up, but also a drone destroyed electric connections above this railroad, so the destructions are really serious and will prevent Russians from using this way to supply their troops. And this is very important because if we want this counter-offensive to be successful, we need to prevent them from supplying food, petrol, and even soldiers from Russian territory through Crimea to Ukraine. And to be able to liberate the peninsula and the south of Ukraine, of course, we need to cut their supplies and to destroy their networks and their logistics. I think that not having enough long-range missiles, not having enough good quality aviation, we are demonstrating really good results. Many explosions took place in Crimea recently. Many oil depots were destroyed. What I'm also proud that civilians are not suffering and Ukrainians are very careful in conducting military operations. And this proves that our allies can trust us and can continue supporting us with the necessary weapons. And also Crimea, of course, is treated as Ukrainian territory according to all the international laws, conventions, maps, and whatever. So we have all the right to try and send all the orcs out, either in cars or in packages, whatever. So we are very grateful for our allies, for the United Kingdom, who will supply us with long-range missiles that will allow us to perform more operations on the territory of Crimea. We are talking about F-16 so much, but even if the decision is positive, it may take like months of training and other things. So we have to be patient and we cannot rely on them right now. Once again, guys, I would like to stress your attention on that. Very often when we get some positive decision about the supply of weapons to Ukraine, we have to understand that this will not happen tomorrow. This will not even happen the next month. Sometimes it takes up to half a year. And during war, half a year is a lot. It can be measured in human lives. It can be measured in buildings destroyed, in villages and towns occupied. That's why we are so persistent in our requests for various things, because even when we receive them, we have to wait, and waiting in case of Ukraine can be deadly, and I'm not exaggerating. And so anyway, I see that the preparation for counter-offensive is successful, because the destruction of this railroad and electricity connections will prevent Russian soldiers from normal supply, will destroy their logistics, they might run out of people, food, petrol and other things that are necessary for the operation of orc troops. Of course, this all happens like unofficially. I don't know why Ukrainians are so much controlled and so much not allowed to be strong and a little bit aggressive. But I am proud of the fact that we do follow all the instructions and all the demands that those countries that supply us with the necessary weapons want from us. And another very positive tendency that I see right now is that lots of people who came to live in Crimea, occupants, people who were encouraged to come from Russia and change this cultural identity of the peninsula. Lots of FSB agents and other representatives of Russia police structures moved to Crimea because of its beautiful sceneries and because of political reasons to Russify Crimea. Now they are selling their property. Now they are trying to take away everything that is movable and to take it away to Russia. And the prices for property are falling in Crimea, and this has only one meaning, that they understand that Crimea can be liberated, and one beautiful day it will return back to Ukrainians and Crimean Tatars who live beautifully and friendly on that territories. So despite these official messages of Russian propaganda that Crimea is forever Russian, and that Russians are very successful, we see just the contrary. Lots of their police representatives who bought flats, who got flats, who stole these flats from Ukrainians and Crimean Tatars, who were forced to leave it after annexation, they are leaving the territories, or they are developing Plan B, Plan C, and so on. And this is another signal that Ukrainian armed forces are effective and our allies are also effective, because this is our joint danger, and I hope this is going to be our joint victory. Once again, Crimea is Ukraine. It is a beautiful natural peninsula that has everything to become in future an interesting natural and historical resort with its bright culture, with beautiful Crimean Tatar and Ukrainian heritage and Greek heritage and lots of other interesting stories and legends connected with that. And of course, it is not a place for a military base. It is not a place for a military navy. It's a place for cafes, restaurants, museums, beaches, and all the other things that a part of subtropical climate actually can offer in Ukraine. So hopefully more special military operations will take place in Crimea. You know that Russians are cowards. They overreact, by the way, to every minor explosion. So many more to come. And that is a nice appetizer to a counter-offensive. Thank you so much for your support. Introduce yourself to our beautiful t-shirt, caps, hoodies, because they are perfect conversation starters. You can find a link to our shop below the video. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons, but most importantly, thank you for all the love and support that you demonstrate to Ukraine and Ukrainians. Slava Ukraini!